Iron Trader. It is Sunday night, so we're going to take a look here at crude oil, WTI, and Brent. We'll take a look at natural gas, gold, silver, Bitcoin, and we'll take a look at the Nasdaq futures, which are just ripping higher here now, up about 360. All right, this video is for information purposes only. Not a recommendation to buy or stock by ETF. Please subscribe. Thanks for watching. Okay, here we have crude oil, WTI, and Brent. Now, T-Man comes out there and he says that they got a deal with Iran, and they're going to open up the Straits of Hormuz. The only thing I don't like about this situation is they're holding $25 billion, and that's part of the agreement. They're going to give Iran $25 billion. Now, you know, T-Man was criticizing Obama for giving him big all in cash, big plane loads of cash here, and now you're doing the exact same thing. What do you think they're going to do with this? You think they're going to go rebuild their city, give it to the people? They're going to go and buy weapons. We're going to be right in the same predicament here if you give that regime any kind of a cash here. So we got to wait till everything comes on out here, but I don't really care for it. But anyway, the crude oil market is coming off here nicely. Now, you can see here, once we close below it, I've always been pointing out this key 100 SMA here. And once we close below this 100-day situation, well, then we're off to the races as a downside. So far today, we hit this low of 80.25 level. This is what we're looking for right here at 78.97. That's going to be your big retest. Now, if we lose this key level here, this 97 level, then we're going to be looking right here to the bottom of this candle. We're looking at 76.73, and this is your big target. It could be down here at 73.42. Now, if this is lost, we have this gap all the way down here that I've been waiting on, okay, 69.20, okay, and then we have that fill at 67.83, okay, so 69.20, okay, 67.83 if we lose this key 200-day. But right now, this is what we're focused on, is going to be right there at that 78.97. Now, you can see this is not oversold. This is not oversold, but this was such a great trade. But again, once we lose that 100-day, if you've been watching the videos, then it's time to go short ski on this situation. And Friday, basically, I was trading in both directions. Now, on the upside here, well, we got to get right here back above that key 83.20 level. Then we have to come and get the 100-day, which is 86.72. And then we have all the simple moving average rollover. There's your resistance, 88.32. There we have 92.84, and then we have 95.89. And you can see they're all rolling over. And as it goes up, that's going to be very, very strong resistance, just like this 21-day was here in the past. See how it ran right up here? Slam, just like a brick wall all the way on down. Now, I should say we're looking at the same thing. Your big time target upside is going to be that 86.72. Downside, just watch this key level right here at the 78.97. We have support there, but realistically, here's your target at 73.42 level. Now, here we have the old Brent scheme. That's the same thing here. We lost that key 100-day. Then there's no sense here. Once we lose that 100-day, it's time to go right on. It's going on down here. So now what we did is we lost this level here. That's going to be very, very critical. So what do we have here? What did we do? We put in today's low here so far of that 83.42 level. This is your next target right down here at 81.16. But realistically, my target is going to be that 77.96 level. Now, again, if we lose that 77.96 level, we have that gap over here on the Brent too, 75.79. And then your fill at 73.52, 75, 79, okay, 73.52. Now, a lot of times it comes down and it'll hold that gap and then it runs back up again. Once it starts getting into it, you're going to want to fill that gap right there at that 73.52 level, okay? So right now here, this is not oversold. We got room to run. We're hanging out on the bottom, but we have room to run here. I'm looking for a downside target of 77.96. I'm looking for a target here of 73.42 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at natural gas. Okay, here we have the natural gas. Now you can see here, this is looking ugly here too. However, so far we have that inside day. So what we're watching Friday's low. That's that 303 level. And then we're going to come over here on this weekly chart. This is what you're watching. That's a key, is that 301. That's going to be very, very key. Now, if we lose that 301, here's your target right here. Very easy, 289. Okay, so right now this is a nice two-way trade. UNG for the long, KLD for the short ski. And it's working out very, very nicely. Now, you can see here how the 21-day fell off here. We got that 305. So this is going to be very, very key. Now, the 8-day is moving up and the 21-day is moving down. So something's going to give one way or the other. Now, on the upside here, we got the 100-day sitting at 311. We got the 21-day sitting at 312. So just above it. That's going to be strong resistance. Next level is going to be 316 if you give yourself a little pop ski, okay? Now, your next level above that, 329. Then we have your 200-day at 329, and then we have your 50-day at 338 and then 342. Now you can see here how these simple moving averages now on a weekly are starting to drop off here. So this is not really doing pretty good. Now, again, we're going to have a cold, like a colder week. It's going to be like high 60s, maybe 70 degrees at most for the whole week here. So again, unless you have a hot summer, you need some kind of a catalyst here or hurricane season, something like that going into to raise natural gas. You need some kind of a disruption here to take this bad boy higher. So right now here, just look at this as a two-way trade. We had that downtrending situation, then we have a nice uptrending, but you can see how that 200-day just stopped it absolutely cold, and it couldn't do absolutely nothing here. Then it came right on down. But again, we have an inside day here so far. So just watch this 303 level. Okay, watch this right here, 305, and then watch that 301 level. That is going to be very, very critical. Lose it, and come right down to this 289 very simply. Upside, we have so much resistance at that 312, at that 311, and then at 317. Okay, so we've got to get above all of that in order to charge it higher. Now, this is not oversold. This is green across over red, momentum to the downside, which we can obviously see. This here is just sideways action, that sideways action. So again, you're going to need some kind of a catalyst to take natural gas up. So just be patient. And for me right now, this is a two-way trade because we're really basically above all these simple moving averages except for the 50-day on the daily. Okay, let's take a look here at gold. Okay, here we have gold. Now you can see here, we got ourselves a nice good bottoming tail. We're looking 4046, okay? What we were looking for here was the bottom of that candle at 4100. You can see that it went below that, but, big but here, okay, it closed back above this, and that's going to be very, very key. Now we're above this a 50-day at 4286, which is always a good sign, okay? Now we have to look at that 8-day, that 4486 above there, but first we have to look at this 21-day at that 4436. We have to look at that 4447. Then we have your 8-day at 4486 level, okay? Once we get above that, then we have your 50-day at 4598, and then we have your 21-day at 4740. So what you do is one level at a time, okay? So if this holds this key 8 SMA here, and this is going to be critical, you want to hold that 4298. If it holds that, and we start running on up here, first of all, you want to look to the left here. That's your first day, 4377. Next level, 4388. And then here's your big target is going to be that 21-day. And then right above it, we have the 200-day. Then we have to see what the reaction is. Does it go to the next level? There's your next level right there, 4486. Then does it go to the next level there? Next level is 4598. Then your next level. So that's how you trade this, is level at a time. Now, on the downside here, we're watching the top of Friday's candle, 4267. We'll look to the bottom at 4191 level. Okay, and then what we're really looking for is right here, again, to hold that 4100, and then we have to retest down here at 4046. But right now, this looks like it really wants to rocket up. We got to an oversold condition here very, very nicely. Now, if we look in the past, we got to an oversold condition there, and then what happened? Held it up, and then it rallied up here nicely. So we made a bottom all the way down here at 4100, and we rallied all the way up to 4917. So we had a really nice, good rally off of that. So that could be the same thing we had here, and we have a double bottom right now situation. Just because it goes lower, that doesn't really matter, as long as it closes above that key, and which that's exactly what it did. Okay, that's the ticket. Now, 42, you got plenty of room to run. This hasn't even crossed over yet. This is still on a downslide, but if we can get above this key levels, all these key levels here, and above this 8-day, we can change that downtrend situation and at least head up back to that 21-day. That would be very, very good, or maybe even all the way up here to this 100 SMA. Okay, let's take a look here now at silver. Okay, silver. This is my trade right here, SLV. SLV is pretty damn awesome. Okay, I never was a really big gold or silver trader. I would get in it when I could see the run up kind of a situation like we had here. But silver, the SLV, has been such a great trader, even in all this nonsense. Okay, even say, oh, there's not much here, but you still could get 1 to 4 points a day on a situation. Now, we came all the way down to the 61.51 level. What we're looking for was right here, that price channel at 61.21. You notice that we've held that. So now we have, look at here, we have ourselves a nice double bottom. So right there is that 61.21 on the daily chart, okay? See, now we have ourselves a double bottom. Now we're going to try to rally on up here, okay? So we have key levels that we want to watch. Right here, level to level, 72.84. Okay, we want to always watch that here, 73.82. That's going to be next. Then we have this 75.63 level. Okay, then we have your 21-day, 77.06, and then 79.46. Get above that, we'll come up to this 84.38. And all that is just the top of that candle right there. We get a rally up again, Above that, we can come all the way up here to that 90-10 level. Now remember, level to level to level, that's how you trade it. But we have a double bottom on a weekly, double bottom on a daily, and it's working out very, very nice. Now, on the downside, always watch that downside. We got to hold this key 68.13, and we got to hold that 200-day at 67.78. Very, very key. If we lose that, here's your big target right here at 63.25, and then we have that retest at 61.21, okay? So those are your big targets. But this is so easy now because what we're going to do is we're going to trade this here to that right there, to that 21-day, okay? And we're going to see what the reaction. If it gets above that, then we have right here, we'll go to that 8-day. If it comes back that, then we come right here to that 50-day and then maybe 21-day. So we just go level to level to level. Now, this 21-day might stop at cold and then it comes right back down again. We don't know that, but that's why you trade the charts, okay? So if it gets up this area and it stops, that's where you take your trade off then. Now, if it keeps right on rolling or goes sideways, you can always buy back up again to take it to that next level, okay? Or to this level or to that level situation. Now, we're sitting only at 44. This has plenty of room to run. These little bars are already curling up here, and this looks like it's curling up very, very nicely, sideways action. If this curls up, we can get yourself a really nice, good run into silver. Now, easy way, again, SLV is the ticket. Okay, let's try to take a look here now at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin, great trading again. Okay, came right on down, 59,275. What we're looking for is right here. That's at 60,005. Okay, now you can see, yeah, did it go lower than that? Yes, it did. But what we put in here is what they call a tweezer bottom. Okay, so when you see that tweezer bottom, okay, that usually here is either on the bottom and wants to rip up, or if it's on the top, it wants to rip back down. This case here is on the bottom and it wants to move up, and now we're back above that 8-day. Okay, so if you want to know about candlesticks, just go on my playlist. It's all right there. On anything with candlesticks, chart patterns, it's all right there at your convenience. But now we have this double bottom from that 6,005 and that 59,275. Nice double bottom. So what we got to hold, got to hold, is right here, 62,447. That is your 200 SMA. That's going to be very, very key. Then we have right here, 63,179. These two here, 62 and this 63, are very, very critical on a closing basis, okay? If we lose that, then you're going to come right back down to that 6,000 mark and maybe even that 59,275 level, okay? So what we're looking for here on the upside now is we just bring this across. So far, we hit this thing high at 65,645. So bring your leg across it. What do you have? 65,925 is next. Then we'll come up here, okay, 67,975, right? And then what we're going to do is we'll be looking right here for the 70 mark. This is your 21-day. This is what we're looking for. Now, right above that situation is we have this 8-day and your 21-day here at 71,836. That'd be right above here. Then we can hit the 73. Then we hit the 74 mark, okay? But right now, what you're focused on is a couple things. Right here is watching this key 8 SMA. It's got to hold that. And this key 200-day, you got to hold that. And an absolute must, you got to hold that 59,275, okay? That's an absolute must. But on the trading thing, just look right to the left, but really a big target is going to be right there at 71.28. Easy way to trade this is BITX. Easy way to trade it, okay? So that there, and on the long side, and BIT on the short side. This here was such a nice, good short all the way down, but you got to know your limitations. When it gets down like here, you say, oh, this is going low. People have to go on, okay, we're going to go down to 50, down to 30, and this is going to go out of business. It's not going to happen. What it is it's like anything. When you have this massive rally all the way up here, you're going to correct, and that's exactly what we have. And then we have the sideways consolidation. Now you can see here what really triggered it for me was we had this low, but again, it held that low. That's the key. It held it low on a closing basis. That's all that matters. Now we have that tweezer bottom, and now we're above that 8-day. Okay, so right now, long BITX here up until that 21-day, and then we have to see what the reaction is once it gets there. Okay, does it move to that 71.8? Does it come up here? Does it go there? Or does it stop at cold? Okay, that's the key. Now we got to an overbought, way oversold here condition. But what I like about this here, so I like the RSI here. See, we have a low, we have a lower low. We had a low here, and we have a higher low. So we actually have positive divergence now on the RSI, okay? And look at this weekly. See how we had this low? Look at here, higher low, positive divergence. See how that works out? That's why you use the RSIs. Now, it measures the strength, but it can get the divergence and gives you an edge in the situation, any kind of edge you can have. See, now, if we lose that 59,275, say this crashes and say, oh, it blows right through, then right here at the bottom of the candle, that is your target at 49,365. Reason being, it rallied up here, came down, broke out through that, consolidated, came back, and retested that level. See that? Then it held it. So that would be your next target if you lost that 59,275. But right now, watch that 8-day, watch this 200-day, and watch that 59,275. That's your downside. Upside, this is what you're watching, 70,129. Okay, let's take a look here now at the NASDAQ futures. Okay, here we have the NASDAQ futures now. She is just smoking up higher. Okay, we have a nice big gap up here. Okay, so what we did is we went right up here to the 8-day 21, stopped it. Friday it stopped it, and now we have the news that there is a peace agreement here, and the straits are open up here, and we're going to get back to normal kind of a situation. Okay, now again, you're dealing with the Iranian regime. We don't know what's going to happen. Now again, if Israel keeps right on striking these targets here again, this whole deal could blow right on up here. So always remember that. Plus, I just don't like that you're giving them $25 billion here. Okay, I don't like that because they're not going to do anything but buy weapons with that. That's all they're going to do with this. So take that in consideration. However, okay, we got to figure out how we make money off of this. Okay, so their high was 30,384 there today. This is what we're watching right here, 30,422. Okay, so right there. Then your next level is going to be 30,603, and then there's your big 30,807. You crack that, you're going to 31,000. Okay, just that simple there on the NASDAQ futures. Okay, downside, just watch that 21-day, watch this 8-day, very key. We lose that, and come right down to that 50-day. But you notice when it came down, it held that 50-day, which is always very good. Okay, now we got to see here how this RSI, if this is going to be moving up here. We got to see how this is going to be moving up here. So just be patient. Remember, one day, the market's been open here now a whole 18 minutes. So let's just see if everything can hold kind of a situation. All right. All right. Now, also, next week, SpaceX. Okay. SpaceX is going to be a really good trader. It's going to be like the Tesla. Now, if you want to buy it and hold it for duration, that's really simply up to you. To me, I think it's going to be a really good traders. Now, remember, there's going to be a lockup on this. I believe it's either going to be 90 days, okay, 3 months, or you're going to be the 6 months deal, okay? So if there's a lockup on that, all the big shooters there, they can't sell that guy that were here, any of their stock, okay? So this could be really good play on buying and selling, just like I did Friday. I wasn't going to get into it, but I figured, I couldn't help myself, okay? I couldn't help. I'm a trader. I got to get in. So I got in there, made an easy 20 points on that situation. Okay, now I was only small shares. Okay, I didn't take too much because I got to wait till the charts build up a little bit for me because I'm a chartist. Okay, but this could be a very good trader. So remember, we have the lockup, so nobody's going to be dumping it out anytime really soon. They're going to be trading this, and that's what you're going to do. It's going to be wet and wild, just like what Tesla is going to be. Now I'm long Tesla, and I think Tesla can really rip up here also higher because remember, Tesla owns 20 million shares of SpaceX. Okay, so just remember that. Those could be, if you're a trader, those could be phenomenal trades here going forward. And then my favorite here is TQQQs. That's always a really good one here. So there could be a lot of the stuff that's going to be working, but let's just see how that all going to shake out here just on Sunday night to Monday. And let's see if it can hold this rally on Monday. And let's see what all the news is going to be there with the Iranians. And it's this deal going to hold. That's going to be the key. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here tomorrow morning, and we'll do it all over again. Trade what's in front of you, not what you want.